Japan is considered one of the most advanced societies in the world, not just from a technology perspective, but also from a societal and cultural perspective and how they live. Where Japan goes, others are going to follow. And one of the most significant and noteworthy trends in Japan over the last few years has been the end of sex. My name is Graeme Codrington. Welcome to Throwforward Thursday. This is episode 69. And so I thought, why not? Let's have a look at the potential end of sex. Come with me to the future, where sex looks very different than it does today. What research has shown, and it isn't in Japan alone, by the way, but all around the world, today's young people are choosing not to marry. Well, at least they are getting married later, and many of them are not getting married at all. And they are choosing to have fewer children. There are more single people in the world right now than there have ever been in human history. Some of that has got to do with young people choosing not to get married. Some of it's got to do with older people who are living longer and their partners passing away. In fact, so much so that the United Kingdom recently appointed a Minister of Loneliness. And I think other countries have followed suit. In addition to more people than ever being single, research is showing that younger generations are definitely having less sex. There's a number of reasons for that. Some of that has got to do with cultural shifts that make sure that all sex is consensual. And that means that many people are feeling it's a little bit more complicated to navigate a dating and one-night stand type of relationship with people. And it's just a whole lot easier to not have sex than to risk having non-consensual sex. That's fair enough. Another reason is that it's not the 1960s. It isn't drugs, sex, rock and roll, free love, free sex everywhere. Sex can actually kill you. And since the 1980s, that's been the consistent message that a younger generation has got. Sex is dangerous. And, you know, sexually transmitted diseases these days can be literally life-threatening, from AIDS to monkeypox. And so young people are naturally a little bit more nervous of sexual activity. And then, of course, there is the fact that, in general, people in a committed relationship, including marriage, do have more sex than single people. It just is the case. So there's a lot less sex happening with younger generations and fewer children emerging. That's, I suppose, another reason people worried about pregnancy. And in some countries, let's not name America at the moment, abortions and access to contraception is quite difficult. So lots of reasons why younger people are choosing not to have sex, and some very good reasons, by the way. There's no criticism in that list of reasons. Fully understand that. What that then means is that our sexual norms and standards, and probably sexual ethics along the way, are going to shift and adjust quite dramatically over the next few years. Do I think that it actually is the end of sex? No, I definitely don't. I think sex is one of those primal urges and activities of humans, but I think that there might be a lot more people who are looking for sexual fulfillment and sexual enjoyment in other ways than having sex with another partner. And we're going to see the rise of sex robots. We're seeing this already, and it won't surprise you that it's happening in Japan, with literally very lifelike humanoid robots being made available, both for personal and individual use, as well as, by the way, being used by couple counseling in Japan. Look it up. It's fascinating. And then, of course, just to general sex toys. We don't necessarily, it can feel a little bit weird, I suppose, having sex with a humanoid robot, but using sex toys. Sex toys are amongst the, if you don't mind, hottest properties at the moment in terms of sales and growth of a product. And I think that there are massive opportunities in the space of sexual pleasure, sexual enjoyment, sexual satisfaction, and sexual health care as well. And a whole field of healthcare, medicines, pharmaceuticals, and all sorts of things opens up. So if that's a space that you would like to play in and your company has access to, that is going to be a massive and growing market over the next few years as societies and cultures and individuals shift in what they think sex should be and how they pursue sexual fulfillment and pleasure. No, it's not the end of sex. It's just the end of sex as we know it. Fascinating. As always, thank you for joining me in the future, where sometimes we have some fun, sometimes we're a little bit edgy, but hopefully always seeing what might happen and what the implications, opportunities, and sometimes threats are for us. Join me next week as we continue our exploration of the future and our end of series. I'll see you next week.